If you've been wanting to start investing in real estate in Saskatchewan, but you have no clue how to start, or you don't know how to look at a property from the lens of an investor, this video is for you. My name is Finn Macfarlane. I'm a realtor in Saskatoon with Real Broker, and today we're going to take a look at my newest listing right here in Saskatoon, and I'm going to show you how I would look at it to see if it makes sense as a rental property. And if you stick around to the end, I'll show you where you can get these tools that I'm using to look at this for free. All right, so first thing that you're going to want to do is find the subject property that you're going to look at and analyze. I've already pulled it up here on realtor.ca. 1804 First Avenue North. Like I said, this is my own listing. It is conditionally sold already. That's just what happens when you list a property with me, but that's besides the point. This is located in Kelsey Woodlawn, so right in the middle of Saskatoon, decent for commutes. And so yeah, let's start looking. So obviously, first thing we do is pull information from here. So obviously the list price that we're at, we're just going to use the list price as the purchase price in this scenario. 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, 1,400 square feet. And it's a 2-story half duplex, as you can see here. Freehold title. So we'll look at that and we'll know, okay, there's no condo fees. Annual property taxes are right there. So that's where you can grab those from because we'll need those. And then parking spaces. We notice here 4 off-street parking spaces, which is great for a rental because your tenants would like somewhere to park, I'm sure. So then the next thing that we can do is go and read through the listing description. So as we go through, we see that there's 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms in the upstairs unit. And as we get further down, fully developed basement offers a non-conforming 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom suite with a separate entrance and separate laundry. So right there, that's great for rentals, obviously, right? Having 2 separate suites in the same residence. So from that, we know that there's a 3-bed, 3-bath unit on the main floor and upstairs, and then a 2-bed, 1-bath basement suite. And then if you're going more in depth, obviously, as you come further down, you can see which type of appliances are included, what the different building features are, whether or not it has AC, which it does. And then obviously, once again, your 4 parking spaces, and then you have your measurements. So now that we've done that, we can look through the pictures. It's hard to tell what type of condition a property is in from the pictures, obviously, but that's obviously if you're actually going to go out and buy one, make sure you go and have a look at it in person first. Or if you're out of province, have a trusted realtor, me, go look at it for you. I know I like to offer virtual showings for my clients, basically a FaceTime call as we walk through so they can see it. And I let them know if there's any red flags that I see in the house. But looking through the pictures, obviously you have your main floor here, living room, and then dining room and kitchen, bathroom and laundry for the main unit. And then upstairs, you have your 3 bedrooms, including the master here with the walk-in closet and the ensuite, and then another 4-piece bathroom upstairs. Then in the basement, we see we have our non-conforming suite here, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, your storage/utility room with a combo washer dryer right there for the basement. And then obviously your backyard and deck, backyard. And here is where the extra 2 parking spaces come from. There's 2 at the front and 2 at the back that are off of the road. They just moved this portion of the fence back so that the tenants had parking spaces. So now once we've had a look at the property and pulled the information that we need, this is my rental spreadsheet that I like to use to run numbers for the first year, at least in this video. That's what I'm going to do just to keep it simple. So obviously you enter your offer/purchase price right here, and then your rental income. So however many units you have, this is for residential properties, not for commercial or multifamily. So it's unlikely that you'd have more than 2 or 3, but they're all here anyways. So the first one is a 3-bedroom unit, and I can say that the previous rent that the owners were getting was $2,400 per month for the 3-bedroom main floor and upstairs unit. And then the rent that they're still currently getting for the basement suite is $1,200 a month. So input your rental incomes. That's step number 1. If you don't know what they are, talk to your realtor. If they're smart, they'll know what market rent is for the area. And if you have a subject property that already has tenants in it, get your realtor to reach out to the listing agent and find out what the rent is that they're getting so you can input that there. So then you obviously right here have your total income. Next thing you want to do is account for vacancy. I'm going pretty aggressive here with 3% just because it is super low in Saskatoon right now. So you can get away with assuming that. If you want to be safe, go a little bit higher, but for this example, we'll use 3%. And then that gives you your gross operating income, which is your total income after, subtracting your vacancy allowances. Then the next thing to do is input your operating expenses. So property tax, like I said before, that is right there, $35.20. So you would find that, input it there. Insurance, I'm using an estimate here for $2,000 a year. Utilities in this one are, what was it again? The previous situation that these owners were doing was they were just including the utilities in the rent for the tenants. Now, don't quote me on this because I'm actually not 100% sure if I remember this correctly, but I believe they said it was about $350 a month that they were paying for utilities, which would be, $4,200 a year. So you'd input that there. That auto-populates monthly. Repairs and maintenance, I'm going to budget about 5% of the gross rent yearly, gross operating income. So we'll do $2,000 per year to budget for future repairs. Property management, we're assuming that it's self-managed here. So you're not paying property management, interest, and professional fees. We're not going to put in here. So then that gives you your total operating expenses of $976 per month, which takes you to your net operating income, just over $2,500 a month, which is your gross operating income minus your operating expenses right here. Then the next thing to do is calculate what your mortgage payments are going to be if you're getting financing on the property. Assuming you're not going to live in the property, you'll likely need to put 20% down, which is right here. And then to calculate the payments, we can head over to a mortgage calculator. I like to use the CMHC mortgage calculator. You can use whichever one you really want to. So we're a home buyer. It's an existing property. There's the purchase price. There's the 20% down. 25-year amortization at a 4% interest rate. Your interest rate might be a little bit different, depends on your own, credit profile, different things like that. So talk to your mortgage broker. But we're going to do monthly payments to keep it simple. So there we go. We have our monthly mortgage payment estimate of around $1,640 per month. So we'll go back here and we'll input this. And then we have our total expenses right here. Obviously, here's all the mortgage information again, but your operating expenses plus your mortgage payments give you your total expenses of $2,616 per month. Then we get to our cash flow. So that's from another property I was looking at. Don't mind that. So yeah, cash flow monthly is calculated by, obviously, you start with your gross operating income, then you get down to your net operating income after subtracting your operating expenses, and then you subtract your financing or mortgage payments from that net operating income. And the leftover is your cash flow. So $875 a month in cash flow, which is very strong for a single family property like this. Your cap rate right here is your net operating income divided by your purchase price. So 7.74%. Cap rates in commercial real estate are one of the main things that they use to actually determine the value of the property. In residential single family homes like this, not so much. It still is helpful to know though, and that is a strong cap rate for a single family home like this. And then scrolling down, repairs, that was from another property I was looking at, so we'll get rid of that. Your total investment, so here's where we take into account your closing costs, which is your broker, mortgage broker will tell you to budget 1.5% of the purchase price for that. That amount plus your down payment, which we had up here, gives you your total investment up front, so your cash that you need to close. This right here is your cash on cash return, so it's like it says right here, the amount of cash that you receive back from the cash flow divided by your down payment and closing costs or your initial investment right here. So 12.53% cash on cash return. So that means you're making 12.53% in the first year on your cash, back in cash. For reference, the stock market in a very simple stick it and leave it kind of strategy, if you were to throw it in the S&P 500 index fund, averages about 10% per year before inflation. So after inflation, it's really like 7 to 8%. But so this is a strong number. Then the last thing to look at for your total first year return is how much of the equity is being paid down on your mortgage in the first year. The only way to actually know this for sure is to get an amortization schedule from your mortgage broker or bank, whoever's doing your mortgage. And they can actually show you exactly how much principal and how much interest you're going to be paying in each year. To estimate it, I used nice and simple ChatGPT, let it do its calculations, and it said about $7,700 a month for the first year in mortgage paydown. So then your total return on investment as a number and as a percentage are right here. The total return is the cash flow that you're getting yearly from the property, so the profit that you're making, plus your equity paydown on the mortgage, because that is equity that you own. Keep in mind that portion you won't actually realize unless you refinance the property or sell the property, which I don't suggest doing that quickly after you buy a rental unless there was rapid appreciation in that year. But it gives you this number right here. So $18,204 in your first year, and your return percentage is 21.72%. So very strong. Like I said, the stock market would be on average about 10% per year. So So that's a very basic way of analyzing a rental property that you might be looking at. This only goes into your first year return. Obviously, rents will rise over time and you'll be paying more principal on your mortgage over time. So this will change year over year. I have other tools that you can use to look at these projections over a longer time period, but for this video, we did 1 year. Now, like I said at the beginning of this video, if you want a copy of this spreadsheet that I use for free, just reach out to me. All my contact info is in the description of this video. And if investing in Saskatchewan real estate is something that you're curious about or that you know you want to do, reach out to me as well. We can set up a time to hop on a consult call so I can learn a little bit more about what you're looking for. And if you're brand new to it, then I can kind of educate you on the process, how it works, what to look for, what to look out for, and we can go from there.